What's up, guys? Big Jeff from SmokelessForYou.com, back to do another dip vid. We're gonna do a review this time on Wolf Wintergreen. Also, brackets are out. March Madness is here. Get ready. Grab you a mud jug, grab you a tin, pack a lip. Right after you watch this video, go online, print you out a bracket, start filling that stuff out. Here we go. I'm gonna show you a clip from ESPN documentary that aired tonight. It's about the Fab Five from Michigan back in the early 90s. And let's get into it. Pretty sweet little documentary.
From the producers of 30 for 30.
Who are these five basketball player Muhammad Ali's? Long shorts, black socks, black shoes. Who were bigger than the score of the game?
In 1991, 5 Michigan freshmen ignited a basketball revolution. From ESPN Films, The Fab Five, Sunday, March 13th at 9 on ESPN, presented by Street Fighter.
So there's your quick intro. Go ahead and get some music going and get this thing rocking.
Thanks, sports fans, for checking out SportsCenter.com. Reed Farron here with ESPN NBA analyst.
Shut that up. Let's see here. What do I want to play today? Let's rock it out today. Little Papa Roach. Hey guys, check this out. What's up, guys? This is Chris Gibbs One. Alright, forget that. So, let's get into this review. So, said it earlier, Timberwolf mint. Overall tin appearance. You know, I've talked about in my last Timberwolf reviews, talking about how I'm not a real big fan of the tins. Out of everything, out of all of them, I think Timberwolf Wintergreen is probably the best looking Timberwolf tin. I just think the green pops a little bit better. The way they shaded the wolf kind of pops out a little bit. You know, that being said, it's still a cheap looking tin. It's still not great, honestly. Not a huge fan of it, but out of all the Timberwolf tins, it looks the best. Quality, still a pretty good quality plastic tin. It's got a little bit of flex on the sides, but it's not bad. Cut length, it's kind of a medium long cut. It could be a little bit longer. It probably should be a little bit longer, honestly. It does kind of move around in your mouth a little bit. It's a little bit funner cut. Especially for me, I'm a fan of long cut. You know, I want it long. You know, it doesn't have to be Stoker's long, but make it long enough that you can get a real good pinch out of it and it's not going to move around on you. Packability, it packs pretty well. You can get a pretty good pinch of it. You know, you can get it all to one side pretty easily. Flavor and strength. First off, you know, the smell. Stuff smells awful. It's not a super strong smell, but it's just not a good smell. It doesn't really smell like a true wintergreen. Like, you open up a can of like Coke Wintergreen, or you know, Kodiak, it smells like wintergreen. You know, I mean, it's strong, but it smells good. This stuff doesn't smell very strong, but it just smells like shit. The flavor strength is pretty good. Sorry, the flavor is okay. The flavor strength is not very good. It's not a very strong flavor, honestly. Maybe it's just me, but I've kind of noticed the last couple cans of Timberwolf I've had. Maybe it's because it's so cheap. You can see, $1.49. It's just not very moist. Timberwolf kind of tends to be a little bit dry. I don't know why this is. You know, but I mean, it's okay. Flavor is okay. It's not great. Honestly, and you know, obviously it's coming from a guy that doesn't really like wintergreen dips in the first place. You know, if I was going to buy a wintergreen dip, I would definitely foot the extra couple bucks and buy Kodiak or buy Cope Wintergreen. It tastes so much better. It doesn't smell terrible. You know, you put a dip in and you kind of enjoy it. This stuff, not so much. It's not great. Doesn't really give you much of a burn in the lip. So that being said, is it worth the money? Well, it's $1.49 for a tin, which it's funny to say, Timberwolf Wintergreen is about $1 cheaper than Timberwolf Peach. That being said, if you were to buy Timberwolf, I like the peach better. It has a stronger flavor, and it's a fruity flavor. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but I don't think Timberwolf quite has their formula right for wintergreen. I don't think it's very good. So, is it worth $1.49? If it was me, no. I'd spend a little bit extra money and buy something better. Overall, I'm going to give Timberwolf Wintergreen a 5 out of 10. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah, I think there's a lot better wintergreen dips out there. So let's get into some good stuff here. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Fab 5 documentary. It's kind of a real cool behind-the-scenes look. Kind of shows you, you know, how those guys came together. You know, it's considered the greatest recruiting class in college basketball history. You know, Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, Jalen Rose, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson. 3 of those 5 ended up being, you know, NBA greats. So it's kind of really an interesting look. It's sad to say that Chris Webber would not agree to talk with this documentary, give interviews. Really kind of sucks considering he was such a key part of that team. Key part of their demise too, you know, with the timeout, that when there were no timeouts left to give them a technical to lose their second national championship attempt against North Carolina, first time they lost against Duke. Really kind of interesting to hear their perspective on how much they absolutely cannot stand Duke, even to this day. You know, them kind of talking about certain teams, Duke, stuff like that, recruiting, you know, different types of players, kind of more well-set families, especially for, you know, black players, which is what they talk about. So it's kind of interesting, you know. It also, you know, those guys got Michigan in a whole heap of trouble, you know, for kind of some shady dealings for them to go to Michigan. Michigan obviously not being known for their basketball program. So it's definitely worth the watch, though. It's a really good documentary. Gives you a cool insight behind college basketball, and will definitely help you get pumped up to watch the NCAA tournament. So, you know, brackets came out today. It was Selection Sunday. There you go. I just printed out a bracket. So I'm going to talk a little bracketology with you. You know, right now it's me and Ben from the Backwoods Dippers that have signed up for a bracket contest to win a free mud jug. If you haven't done that already, you need to get on there and go ahead and sign up. Here's the info. The group ID is 10400. The password is DIP. Get on there, join. It's through Yahoo. Get on there, check it out. Definitely sign up. You know, right now, with just me and Ben in it, you stand a really, really good chance to win a mud jug. So if you've been wanting one for a while and can't afford it, you know, you got a super high percentage chance of winning. So, you know, definitely get on that. Playing games start Tuesday, the 15th. So, obviously, the NCAA redid, added some more teams into the NCAA tournament. So the first round is now a bunch of play-in games. There's now 4 play-in games. And then you go into the second round, which is basically the first round of the tournament, or traditionally what we would call the first round. So I'm going to talk about some potential upsets, you know, kind of give you all a little helper on filling out brackets. Some possible upsets or games that could be close. Number 4 seed Kentucky, 13 seed Princeton. Kentucky coming off winning the SEC tournament. You know, I'm from Kentucky. I'm a big Louisville fan, so I might be a little biased against Kentucky. But you know, they're kind of a questionable team. They haven't won a lot on the road. They've had a lot of trouble on the road. They've taken some bad losses. It's a really young team. Don't have a lot of leadership there. So there's definitely a chance they could go down. 6 seed Xavier, 11 seed Princeton. Princeton's a pretty good team. I know a lot of people look down on Ivy League teams, but Princeton's a pretty good school. I mean, they can shoot the 3 ball. They can defend the perimeter pretty well. They're definitely a team to look at as far as upsets go. Number 7 seed Washington, 10 seed Georgia. Georgia, a pretty tough team. Is a 10 seed. You know, they've hung in pretty well with some SEC competition. There's a good chance for an upset. 5 seed Arizona, 12 seed Memphis. Memphis coming off winning the Conference USA tournament. You know, I've got Memphis locked in to win. I think they can do it. They're a tough ball team. 3 seed UConn and 14 seed Bucknell. You know, Bucknell a couple years ago pulling up a big upset over Kansas, who I believe was a 2 or a 3 seed at the time. So you definitely want to not count out Bucknell. There's a possible chance for an upset. It's an NCAA tournament. Anything can happen. Bucknell's done it before. Other side of the bracket, 5 seed Mandy and 12 seed Richmond. Richmond's a real tough team. They've you know, they've been to the NCAA tournament quite a few times in the last 4 years. They're a team that can really light it up from behind the 3-point arc. Number 7 seed Texas A&M and 10 seed Florida State. Analysts have really been talking about this game as being a swing game. Florida State has kind of tended to be a little bit inconsistent throughout the year, but they're still a quality team. They could still pull an upset here. The 5 seed Kansas State and number 12 seed Utah State. Definitely a chance for Utah State to come through. They're still a pretty quality team. Kind of underrated because you know, they're not in a very strong conference. Another big one analysts have been talking about is number 4 seed Wisconsin and number 13 seed Belmont. Belmont's kind of seen as maybe this year's Cinderella kind of Bucknell team. They're a really good team. You know, so there's definitely a chance they could come definitely definitely a chance they could come through. Also, 6 seed St. John's, 11 seed Gonzaga. Gonzaga's been the Cinderella team here for years now. They've always got a good ball team. They're always kind of overlooked. St. John's, kind of an underrated team coming out of the Big East. Nobody thought they'd be anything. Real tough ball team. They've beat some really high-ranked teams this year, but they've been kind of streaky. And you also want to look at 7 seed UCLA and 10 seed Michigan State. Michigan State's a scary team. They've got a guy named Kalen Lucas who's a real good talent. They don't have a whole lot around him, but Kalen Lucas is still a guy that can definitely step up and win a ball game. And UCLA has been kind of a streaky team, so you never know what's going to happen there. So, I told you I wasn't going to let it die for a while. I'm going to give you a couple Charlie Sheen quotes today. First one is, I am battle-tested. Bayonets. Kind of crazy. Second one is, dying is for fools. Amateurs. Charlie Sheen obviously talking about just his ridiculous drug addiction and how, somehow he's able to take a shit ton of drugs and so-called amateurs couldn't handle it. And the last one is, the run I was on made Sinatra, Flynn, Jagger, Richards, all of them look like droopy-eyed, armless children. Talking about, obviously, his drug use and his promiscuous, just saying that all these rock stars, all these, Flynn, obviously being the owner of Penthouse magazine, kind of saying that, he was on another level, so that's a pretty bold statement. So that's about all I got. I got a couple shout outs for you. Dip Club 570. These guys don't have many subs right now. They just did a 25 sub video, which is kind of unheard of. A lot of people kind of wait till 50 to do that. And this kid made dip pancakes. And 8 pancakes with dip cooked in them. A lot of puking. I gotta give the kid props. He, ate a couple pieces, puked, ate a couple more, puked again. That's dedication. So definitely shout out to them. Second one is for Ollie OLB54. He just put up a really cool video today. It was a dipping and fishing video. Definitely, I can't wait for the weather to get a little warmer here so I can do some dipping and fishing. I'm planning on doing a dipping and fishing vid. So props to him. That was definitely really interesting. Kind of funny, him making fun of Mexicans all over Texas, right there, right around the the Texas-Mexico border. Also, the Backwoods Dippers. Obviously they're in the bracket challenge, and they just made a 1,000 sub video that was pretty epic. They ran like an obstacle course, running through mouse traps and putting in 3 tins and then shooting a gun, and it was pretty crazy. It was probably the most epic video I've seen in a long time. So definitely check that out. And I made fun of him earlier with the Blazers, so I gotta throw a shout out to Chris Dips 1. Guy makes amazing videos. He's now got a second channel, Chris Dips 2, that he's kind of putting his everyday videos up. So definitely check that out. And that's all I got for you. So for now, this is Big Jeff from SmokelessReview.com, chilling with Longhorn Wintergreen, saying I'm out of here. Peace out. Mud Jack.